Starting again. I am
Sounds good.
joined by Barlow Guest, one of our 16 participants for the Webcam Championship this upcoming Saturday. We actually just had a lovely interview and I forgot to press record. So this is our second interview. Barlow,
You just give me practice.
Yeah. Now you got all of your takes down. You qualified with Pony on the June event. You commentated this last event with Tam and I. But how did you get into Universus? What was your first exposure to the game?
So I've always enjoyed playing like strategy games. I played plenty of digital card games, like never really stuck with anything, but just kind of bounced around. Um, and I just had a friend, not even a card game or game playing friend at all, mention that they saw this Universus in a store and it was like an MHA card game. And I was like, I'd seen MHA before and I didn't really have a card game I was playing. And I was like, oh, let's check it out. And I played a game and I'm like, oh, I like this a lot, and I just kept playing. I think the check system, the kind of like push your luck, the deck building is super interesting to me. So it kind of clicked for me like a card game hadn't clicked before.
What set were we in when you joined?
So I played on TTS a little bit just to kind of get a feel for the game and if I wanted to buy in. And then I decided, yeah, I really like this. So I think League of Villains pre-release was my first like event.
Okay.
So set four? Yeah, set four.
Yeah. And what's your favorite Universus character and your favorite Universus attack?
I'll start with my favorite attack because that's easy. Determined Advance. I love it. It gives you an access to fight speed reduction characters. It has a real cost, right? It's a 6 diff. It's not a free, like, just good card. It snaps some momentum. I'm a Chaos gamer, so love that. Yeah, I think it's just a really solid attack. It can be a kill shot. It has real costs and real benefits. It's a good block. I love everything about it. It's favorite attack. It's a pretty new one,
What
actually.
character unlocks it?
I think most chaos characters can utilize it if your strategy is built around it. I think it's pretty dangerous in decks that want to poke with it turn two and can't afford to throw the six. Like Amajiki loves momentum, but I don't think it really unlocks him unless you're saving it for a finisher. But like Sasha 2, I think plays it really well. I think Mimic plays it really well. I think there's plenty of chaos characters that play it incredibly.
Yeah. And then your favorite character overall?
Favorite character? I mean, it just has to be Amajiki. He's not the first character I played, but the first character I played competitively and really, really worked on. He treated me well at last Nats. He treated me well at Vegas and the HLC LCQs. So, yeah, it's just got to be Amajiki. I've loved that guy for a long time. Not really playing him currently. Don't think he'll be on the roster for Nats, but maybe for Worlds. We'll see.
Yeah. So you, Amajiki was your first character competitively that you really got into, but you joined in League of Villains. What was your first like character that you just started with?
So the first character I started with was Denki Kaminari 2, the free momentum every turn character that no one plays. And he was kind of playable, and no one knew what my character did, so I won a lot of games. And then I transitioned to All for One because All for One is just one of my favorite characters in the anime and just also was a momentum shenanigans character. And then I was kind of like, okay, what's kind of the level up from these characters? Amajiki's a momentum character. He's really strong. He plays 7-hand size, which I liked a lot more than 6-hand size. So it was a kind of just a natural transition to the Amajiki, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So you cut your teeth on some beginner like momentum characters and then built up. I was kind of similar. I started with the Mount Lady 1, also a character where everybody had to read
Yes.
what she did. Okay, what's your hottest Universus take?
I don't know how hot of a take this actually is, but I've seen calls for it to be banned, so I'm just going to say it's that City Rampage is not that good. I don't think City Rampage is a actively bad card, but I think a lot of people are making their decks worse by putting City Rampage in, because sure, the turn you draw City Rampage and 4 attacks, you're going to feel on top of the world and win the game, but it bloats your deck size. If you draw it with 1 attack or 2 attacks, it's not great. Makes your turn 1 builds worse. So I think you need a lot of card draw and or filtering to really make it pop. And I think a lot of the decks that are running it don't have that.
Yeah. I'll agree 50%. I think 7-handers, very good in. 6-handers and 5-handers, probably overrated. Too much clogging your hand. And 6-handers just can't play actions to the extent that 7-handers can. But what about heroic format? Tokoyami, Summon Dark Shadow, City Rampage, make actions not count towards progressive, uh, something along those
Hero,
lines.
remind me, what's heroic format?
Oh, MHA set one on.
MHA
It's
set one
technically
on.
not a format, but we're gonna make it one.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's pretty good, but also then you're playing 8 actions in your Tokoyami deck, which I think the turn one build is like what I'm concerned about. It's still really good, obviously. Like if you
Yeah,
draw City Rampage and a handful of attacks, you will win the game. It's great, but yeah, I think it is not consistent enough to be as played as often as it is. It should still see some play.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I see Godzilla's playing it all the time. It's like I really don't think you need it.
Yeah, huge shout out to Gavin Kale who played it in Not in one of these webcam mid. I think it made it to a top 8. I think that list was really solid. Not has a ton of card draw and chaos, a ton of filtering on her face. I think that kind of style of City Rampage game plan is exactly where I want to be if I'm playing City Rampage.
Yeah, yeah. 7-hander, super aggro. If you stop playing, or wait, what's an IP that universes should add?
Until they add it, I'll just say Avatar: The Last Airbender every time this is asked. I think it's an IP that really has a lot of nostalgia. I really enjoy. So as soon as they add that, I'll think of something else. But that's all I want right now.
I would be very in for Avatar: The Last Airbender if
Oh,
they
it'd be
could
so good. No
just.
one, no one would be upset. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect like the original, but all of these remakes are hurting the brand. I think the like terrible movies that came out, this Netflix adaptation that I'm not sure if you saw the live action
I have
Netflix.
not. I've heard it's good, but like not as good as the show is what I've heard.
Yeah, I thought it was way worse.
Oh
I
yeah,
I'm watching this show now with my kids, and it's very very good.
it's definitely my favorite show from childhood for sure.
Yeah. If you stop playing Universus, it will be because of blank.
It'll just be because I'm not having fun. I play games to have fun, and like I mean, there's a lot of different ways to have fun. I have fun doing well or competing. I have fun making cool deck ideas. I have fun doing a bunch of different things. But if I'm not having any fun anymore, that's when I'd stop. I'm not like so attached to universes that I'd play it if I was not having
Okay.
fun with the game.
All right. What would have to change to make Universus not fun? What's the like number one? Is there a threat at the moment that the game is under where you're like, if the game keeps going in this direction, I won't have fun?
Hmm. I don't really think so. Like I think the core gameplay I enjoy enough that like it pretty much clicks. I think something pretty drastic would have to happen, or the player base would have to like if the rest of the player base died. I think competition wouldn't be as interesting to me, and I would probably stop. But until either of those things happens, I don't really see it happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Um, games got to die or fundamentally change.
Yeah, if they like
um,
changed so many things that it didn't feel the same, then maybe I wouldn't be having fun. But maybe I would. Who knows?
yeah. And then what character are you going to play this Saturday and win $750 with? And or if it's not you, what character do you think, if you're going to play a for fun character, um, what character do you think will actually win the event?
Well, I'm not gonna. I'll say what I'll play, but I'll save it. I'll make you wait a little bit.
Okay.
So I think at the forefront of everyone's mind is just Berthold too, right? That character is insanity. Um, so do I? I think he could absolutely win the event. I think he's probably like the. I think he's more set apart from the rest of the field than like younger Taguro was back in Vegas and other stuff. I think he's the most clearly defined front runner of a character we've had in a while. Um, so with that in mind, I'm playing things that I think are interesting, or I think things that have game into Berthold while still being good into the rest of the field, right? And I think that narrows my options. So I'm playing a character probably playing, not 100%, but as of now, I'm playing a character that it's kind of always been in my fourth or fifth seed when I'm thinking about characters I want to play in an event, but never kind of ever actually played. I'm going to probably play
Mimic.
Mimic. Yeah.
Oh, I called it.
Yes, it's going to be Mimic. Mimic's always a character I've had a lot of fun with. He plays a very interesting style of game. He's gotten a lot of new support, a lot of cool ideas, and I think he can play into Berthold very effectively. I don't know if you're massively favored, but like the blow up is not going to ruin you. You can still play the game. Like Mimic has a lot of accesses to fight Bert on, while still being like a normal character that can kill other characters. So that's probably what I'm going with.
Yeah, I just went let's see, this was 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, doesn't matter. I was playing Patrick, my brother, who is playing
Hmm.
Mimic.
Yeah.
Has been playing Mimic, and so he wanted to test the Burt matchup ahead of this Saturday's event because he's thinking of also playing Mimic
Nice.
for the championship. And
Maybe we'll have
so
to talk.
yeah, we played the Burt matchup, and I went 0-3 against him as Burt too. Then again, I did have some terrible. There was 2 times where I should have been able to win the game if I draw hot, and I didn't. And it was like, I play like a 40+% attack ratio, and I just was not drawing into the attacks. But it was also that, thanks to not having to play on foundations, Mimic was putting up, I would say twice as strong of a defense as most characters were capable of putting up. So it took me, going into that 10th, 11th attack and just kind of finding the crazy gas. So, but I went 0
Yeah,
and 3, so you might be onto something there.
I think Mimic has the damage pump to kill Burton on his front side. He has the fighting power. Like he can't fight Burt to like backside forever. No one can. Like you'll eventually
Mm-hmm.
lose to the backside, but he can stay in there for a turn to kind of find the damage to backswing it. And he doesn't get ruined by the destruction. So I don't know if you're super favored, but you're at least 50-50, if not better. And then we've seen in the past that Mimic is just a good character that can perform pretty well across the board.
Yeah, one of the greatest strengths of Burt is that you can't backswing me on 3 foundations, uh, but Mimic can.
Mimic's like I only had three to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many matchups where Mimic just kind of wins or gets auto favored purely because, like Reiner won, for example. I'm trying to destroy all your stuff, but now it's all assets, and I just can't overcome. There's so many matchups like that Mimic just kind of wins thanks to not playing the game
And I think
like
stuff
everybody
like
else.
Determined Advance that I mentioned earlier really gives him the ability to fight like the I want to block everything you play characters, um, to kind of fight through that and be able to go over the top of them and threaten them.
Right. Well, perfect. If you want to root on Barlow and Mimic this Saturday, it's going to be December 7th, 10 a.m. We got 7 rounds of action packed universes. This is a $3,000 event. Nobody is playing their chill for funsies deck. This is going to be 16 extremely competitive decks going up against each other. Should be a pretty good preview for what the meta of Nationals will look like. Barlow, thank you for joining me. Any last shout outs you want to give before we say goodbye?
Nothing in particular, just thanks to everybody who's helped me test anything in the past. I know the community has always been wonderful, and so thank you to everyone who's taken the time to talk with me about a deck or play against me. It really is helpful, and it just makes like the community feel like a big family. So thank you everyone who has ever helped me and will help me in the future.
Perfect. I'll second that. And with that, I'll see you guys on Saturday.